Hello, my name is Claire Russell. My company is MetaLife, and what I love to do is to support people in discovering and opening to their intuition. And I do this through running workshops and events, teaching the principles, skills and strategies of living intuitively. And one of the workshops I do is focused on the chakras. It's called A Journey Through the Chakras, a weekend workshop. And from my experience, I find the chakras just this wonderful holistic system that allows us to access this inner wisdom within inside of ourselves, and to understand all the different aspects of ourselves, both intuitively, but with a really great structure for delving in deeply into all of these parts of ourselves. So I wanted to share with you just a little bit about the chakras, and maybe give you some thoughts, some ideas as to how you can start to access your own chakra system, start to understand how it is at the moment, how it's feeling, how healthy it is. So the chakras are basically wheels of energy. And when the theory is from the Eastern tradition that when our chakras are in balance, when they're receiving and releasing energy in a nice harmonious flow, that our mind, body, spirit is vitalized from within. It's been used, the chakra system's been used for thousands of years as a method of diagnosing health and also understanding the different aspects and facets of who we are. There are 7 main chakras, although there's thousands through the body, but 7 main ones which run from the base of the spine to the top of the spine, to the top of your head. And these cover maybe different aspects of who we are and our being. And these chakras are something I've worked with a lot in my own practice and with my clients. I'm a Reiki master, Isis practitioner, Theta practitioner, and a spiritually based life coach. And in all of those capacities, I found the chakras hold a huge amount of wisdom. So, for example, when someone maybe has an ailment or injury in a certain part of the body, it's likely that firstly that part of the body is associated with a chakra. So for example, for the root chakra, we start to look at the legs, the hips, the knees, and the root chakra is all about our sense of security, our sense of safety, our ability to be in this physical reality, our feeling of abundance in this physical reality. And it's quite often true that maybe if someone has an ailment there, then the psychological aspects of that chakra are also relevant to them. So how do they feel in terms of their ability to access abundance, to have the resources they need in their life? How secure, grounded, rooted do they feel in their life? It's quite likely that in some format, maybe those questions are relevant for them. And so we'll work with those questions. And also I find that as I work with people to access their chakras on more of an energetic, subtle, intuitive level, there's a huge amount of information there, and it opens up and reveals a lot to people. So, how to think about these chakras? So I talked about them as wheels of energy. We can also think about them as nodes or gateways that take in the energy that we need and release that we no longer need. So I think about it as a normal breath. We breathe in the oxygen we need and we release the CO2 and anything else we don't need. And when this is happening in flow, we have all of the oxygen we need to feel vitalized, energized, and ready to be in our life. And so each chakra effectively is taking in different nutrients for us. It's breathing in maybe on the root chakra, our feeling of security, our sense of groundedness, or in the sacral chakra, the next chakra up just below the belly button. It's our ability to connect with our creativity, understanding our relationships. When we move into the solar chakra, we're breathing in and connecting to our sense of power, personal power, confidence. And so it continues different aspects of us. And so this ability to breathe in the nutrients we need in different areas of our life. You can think about it again, returning to the breath analogy. You might imagine that you've been doing some really hard physical exercise, so maybe you've just been for a really fast run, or you've been at the gym, or you're swimming, whatever it is, and you've been really, really working hard. You've actually worked hard to the point where you just need to stop. You've got no more breath left in you, and you just stop. And when you stop, you just take in big breaths of air to balance your system again. And that's natural. It's your body caring for itself. It says, yeah, we're going to take in and stop and take in that oxygen that we need to function again. And it can be the same with our chakras. So for example, maybe you've been overworking your solar chakra, and the solar chakra is about our sense of power, and when we overwork it, we start to move that power into force. So we make ourselves do things. We're kind of demanding that we act in a certain way, or we get certain tasks done, or that we work 12 hours a day, whatever it might be, that chakra might start to feel overworked, and when that happens, we start to feel demotivated. We don't have the energy we need to continue, both physically fatigued, but kind of emotionally, psychologically fatigued, not feeling the nutrients in that area, maybe the spiritual nutrients of purpose, of values, whatever it might be. And so what we do then with the chakras as we start to explore them is work at rebalancing this aspect of us. And so we can do that both in terms of tuning into our body consciousness, letting us tell us, where are the points in our body where we're feeling slightly out of balance. And on a very simple level, our language can reveal that to us. So we talk about a lump in the throat, and the throat chakra is all about our sense of expression, being able to speak our truth. And a lump in the throat can often tell us that something's unexpressed. Some truth that we want to express, but we're not sure how, maybe we don't feel confident to do that. Or maybe it's our creativity that's bursting to get out of us. And also I talked earlier about different elements of the body can start to signpost us to where we might want to pay more attention. And we can also look to work with these chakras more on an emotional, psychological level. Each chakra represents different archetypes or different aspects of our being. And I talked about the solar chakra. We could also take the heart chakra, which is all about giving and receiving love, and look at that area. And one way, which is quite nice to check step ourselves, is to look for evidence in our life. So one question you can ask yourself is, how good am I at giving and receiving compliments? So if someone says to you, thank you for what you did today, it meant a lot to me, or, I really appreciate your expertise in this area, and, I just found that you explained it in a certain way that no one else could, or what you did really made a difference to me. How do you feel about receiving that? Is it something that you can take into your heart and just say thank you, and be present with the person? Thank you, I really appreciate you sharing that. Or maybe, as like most of us do quite often, it's more like, oh, anyone can do that, and yeah, thanks, I'm sure it's not that big a deal really, and laughing it off almost, pretending it's not there. And that can start to tell us about our relationship with the energy exchange happening in the heart of receiving and giving love. And we can also take it into more of an energetic level, so starting to explore our subtle senses or our intuition. And I teach many different skills in this area, something I call 360 intuitive listening, where we explore all of our senses on a very subtle level. We learn to activate these senses. And when that can tell us a lot more about different chakras. So one way to give you an idea of how this sense works is perhaps you've walked into a space, maybe a space you've not been in before, and you suddenly get a feel for it. Maybe there's a lightness in the room, or a sense of joy. Or maybe you walk into a space and it's slightly heavy, a little bit dense, maybe a sadness. And you don't know how you know about this, but you just know that you've picked up on something in the room. And in that sense, when we learn to direct it, when we learn how to tune into it, how to listen to it, can give us huge amounts of information on our chakra system. So I hope this has given you a little flavour of how our chakras work, what they're there for, how they serve us, and how we can nurture them, how we can listen to them, and ultimately how we can use them to vitalise us from within. So how we can become that energized, peaceful, still, but also dynamic being, able to be in our life as we want. Now I am running the next Journey Through the Chakra workshops in London in March and October 2011. And I also have workshops running in Bristol, April and September 2011, I believe. And also I'm taking the Journey Through the Chakras onto retreat at the beautiful Croydon Hall in Minehead. So if you'd like to join me there, you can find out more information on my website, which is www.metalife.org.uk. Thank you.